heard my wife talking to her mom. Once his business takes off, I'm filing for divorce and taking half. I saw the text. The next day I sold the company for $1,000 to my father and became an unpaid intern. Her lawyer's reaction during the asset discovery phase was pure gold. I, 35 male, run a tech consulting business from home. Been married 5 years. The business started 2 years ago after I left corporate. My wife supported the decision, said she believed in me. Revenue's been climbing steadily. Last quarter we cleared 280 calis. This quarter's on track for 340 calis. 2 nights ago I got home early from a client meeting that ended ahead of schedule. Around 8 p.m., my wife was in our bedroom on FaceTime with her mom. Door was half open. I heard my name and stopped in the hallway. Just need to wait another 6 months, maybe a year max. His accountant said the business valuation will hit 7 figures by next year. My wife's voice, clear as day. Her mom, and your lawyer said you're entitled to half? Yep, community property state. Everything acquired during marriage gets split 50-50. I've been documenting everything. His business expenses, revenue, client list. My lawyer said I have a solid case. What about alimony? Oh, I'll get that too. I supported him for 2 years while he built this thing. Didn't work, stayed home, managed the household. That counts. He'll owe me for years. Silence. Then her mom. You sure you want to do this? 5 years of marriage. Mom, I married him when he was making $60 at that boring office job. Now he's pulling in over $1 million a year gross. I didn't sign up to be married to some workaholic who's in his office 12 hours a day, but I did put up with the startup phase. I deserve my half. When will you tell him? Not yet. Let the business valuation hit $1.2 million minimum. Then I'll file. My lawyer said timing is everything. We want maximum asset value on record. I stood there for maybe 2 minutes, then walked back outside, sat in my car, felt nothing, then everything, then nothing again. Drove around for an hour. Came back at 10 p.m. She acted normal, asked about my meeting, kissed me goodnight. I couldn't sleep. Lay there staring at the ceiling while she snored peacefully next to me. By 3 a.m., I had a plan. At 7 a.m., I called my dad. He's retired, used to run his own consulting business, sold it 15 years ago. Dad, I need your help. Can you come over today? It's urgent. He heard the tone, didn't ask questions. I'll be there at 9. I told him everything. Showed him the texts I'd found after she left for her yoga class. Her conversation history with her lawyer. Dates, times, strategy sessions. Screenshots of our business bank statements she'd been forwarding to her lawyer. My dad sat quiet for a long time. You know what you're asking me to do could be challenged in court. I know, but I'm not trying to hide assets illegally. I'm restructuring my business, perfectly legal. I just need it done before she files. He nodded. Let's call my attorney. By 5 p.m. that day, we had paperwork ready. Sale of business assets and client contracts from me to my father. Purchase price, $1,000. This is gonna raise red flags, my dad's attorney warned. Selling a profitable business for $1,000? Her lawyer will scream fraudulent transfer. It's not fraudulent if it's a legitimate business decision, I said. My father is taking over operations. I'm staying on as an unpaid intern to learn business operations from him. He's providing mentorship, very standard arrangement. The lawyer smiled. Barely. You sure about this? Positive. We signed everything. I transferred ownership of my LLC to my father. Client contracts, intellectual property, everything. Kept detailed notes on why. Seeking mentorship, restructuring for growth, father's expertise invaluable. That night, my wife came home to find me at the dinner table. Hey babe, how was your day? Good. Made some business decisions. My dad's taking over the company. I'm gonna work under him for a while, learn how to scale properly. She blinked. What? Yeah, we've been talking about it for months. He ran a successful consultancy for 30 years. I've been struggling with the growth phase. Made sense to let him take ownership and I'll learn from him. You sold him the business? Yep, closed today. Her face went pale. For how much? $1,000. Family deal. He's mentoring me now. She stared. You sold $1 million business to your dad for $1,000? Business isn't worth $1 million. That's projected valuation. Current value based on assets and contracts, about what we sold it for. Besides, it's family. He's teaching me in exchange. She excused herself, went to the bedroom. I heard her on the phone immediately, probably with her lawyer. Didn't care. Ate my dinner, watched TV, went to bed. She didn't sleep in our room that night. Update 1. 3 days after the business sale, my wife sat me down for a talk. I think we need space. Our marriage isn't working. Okay. She blinked. Expected more resistance, probably. I'm filing for divorce. I've already spoken to a lawyer. All right, I'll get my own attorney. That's it? That's all you have to say? What else is there? You want a divorce? I'm not going to fight it. She looked almost disappointed. We'll need to divide assets. The house, savings, your business. My dad's business now. I don't own a company anymore. Her jaw tightened. We'll see what my lawyer says about that. She moved out 2 days later. Went to stay with her mom. Filed papers the following week. Her lawyer's initial asset disclosure request was a work of art. Demanded full business valuation from an independent appraiser. 3 years of business tax returns, all client contracts, business bank account statements, my personal bank statements, documentation of business sale to my father. My attorney responded with what we had. The sale agreement. Transfer of LLC ownership. New business structure showing my father as owner and me as unpaid intern. Her lawyer called mine. I was in the room. What the hell is this? My attorney put it on speaker. What's the problem? Your client sold a 7-figure business for $1,000 3 days before my client indicated she wanted a divorce, and now he's an unpaid intern? This is textbook asset hiding. My client restructured his business arrangement with his father. Perfectly legal transaction between family members. He's learning business management. It's actually quite common. He's hiding assets. We'll file a motion for fraudulent transfer. Feel free. My client has documentation showing this was a legitimate business decision. Emails between him and his father going back 6 months discussing this transition. Those emails existed now. My dad and I had been thorough. Her lawyer sputtered. You make 6 figures and you're claiming he's an unpaid intern? He's learning from his father. Family mentorship arrangement. Very standard. We'll subpoena the father. We'll get business records. You're welcome to try. The business belongs to my client's father now. It's not marital property. My wife's lawyer hung up. 2 weeks later, we got the motion. Her lawyer filed for an emergency hearing claiming I'd hidden assets, demanded the business sale be voided, demanded temporary spousal support of $8,000 a month. The hearing was interesting. Her lawyer went hard. Your Honor, the respondent sold a profitable business worth over $1 million to his father for $1,000 days after his wife indicated she wanted space. This is clearly an attempt to hide marital assets. Judge looked at me. What's your response? My attorney stood. Your Honor, my client restructured his business with his father's mentorship. This was discussed for months prior to any marriage issues. We have documentation. Produce it. We did. Emails from 4 months prior. My dad and I discussing business growth struggles, him offering to take over operations and mentor me, long-term business planning discussions. Your Honor, her lawyer interrupted, these emails are obviously fabricated after the fact. Judge, do you have evidence they're fabricated? The timing is suspicious. Suspicious isn't evidence. Anything else? Her lawyer pivoted. He claims to be an unpaid intern, but the business generates significant revenue. Where's that money going? My attorney, to my client's father, who owns the business, and the father is just keeping it. It's his business. He can do what he wants with the proceeds. Judge looked at the papers. What's your current income? 0, Your Honor. I'm learning business operations from my father. How are you supporting yourself? Savings. My father occasionally helps with groceries. I'm living very modestly. My wife practically hissed from her side of the room. Judge, motion for voiding the business sale is denied pending further discovery. However, I'm ordering temporary spousal support of $2,000 per month based on marital lifestyle and your savings account balance. My attorney. Your Honor, my client has approximately $15,000 in personal savings. At $2,000 monthly, that's less than 8 months of support. Then he better find employment soon, or his father can pay him for his work. We left the courthouse. My wife was fuming in the parking lot. You think you're so smart? My lawyer's gonna tear your little scheme apart. It's not a scheme, it's a business restructuring. You hid assets, you're gonna pay for this. I didn't hide anything. I sold my business. That's legal. Her mom appeared from her car. You're a snake. My daughter supported you. Your daughter was counting down days until my business hit a certain valuation so she could take half. I heard the conversation, saw the texts. Her mom's face went red. You were spying on her? I walked into my own house and heard you two planning my financial destruction. That's not spying, that's awareness. We'll get a forensic accountant. We'll prove fraud. Go ahead, everything's documented and legal. They left. I went home, ate a sandwich. Felt weird, not happy, not sad, just in motion. Update 2. The forensic accountant's report came back 6 weeks later. My wife's lawyer had hired some expensive firm to dig through everything. Their findings. 1. Business sale to father appeared undervalued. 2. However, no evidence of hidden accounts or transferred funds. 3. Client contracts were legitimately transferred. 4. Business revenue was going to father's business account. 5. I had no access to those funds. 6. My personal spending had dropped 90% since the sale. Her lawyer filed another motion, emergency hearing for fraudulent conveyance. This hearing was brutal. 3 hours of testimony. Their forensic accountant testified the business was worth $800,000 to $1.2 million based on revenue and client contracts. So selling it for $1,000 is clearly fraudulent? Her lawyer asked. It appears undervalued, yes. My attorney cross-examined. Is it common for family businesses to have internal transfers at non-market rates? Well, yes, but... And is it common for parents to mentor their children in business operations? Yes, but... And would you agree that business valuation is subjective, especially for service-based businesses dependent on specific relationships? To some extent, yes. No further questions. Then my dad testified. He was perfect. Why did you agree to buy your son's business for $1,000? Because he's my son. He was struggling with growth management. I offered to take over operations and teach him properly. The money wasn't the point. The education was. And the revenue from the business goes into my business account. I use it to pay expenses, contractors, overhead, standard business operations. Are you paying your son? Not currently. He's learning. Once he demonstrates competency, we'll discuss compensation. Her lawyer jumped in. Isn't it convenient that he suddenly broke right when his wife files for divorce? My dad looked at her. My son made a business decision months before any divorce talk. If his wife has a problem with the timing, perhaps she should have been more transparent about her intentions. Objection. Speculation. Judge, stick to facts, sir. My dad nodded. The facts are simple. I own a business. My son works for me unpaid while learning. This is a standard family business arrangement. The judge took a recess. Came back an hour later. I've reviewed everything. While the business sale appears undervalued, I cannot find evidence of fraud. Family business transfers often happen at non-market rates. However, we all waited. However, I'm ordering a structured settlement negotiation. The wife is entitled to a share of marital assets. The business was built during the marriage using marital resources. Even if currently owned by the father, the wife contributed to its development through household support. My attorney nodded. Expected this. Judge continued, I'm appointing a mediator. You have 60 days to reach a settlement. If you can't agree, we go to trial. Mediation was its own nightmare. Her lawyer started at $400,000, half the business valuation plus compensation for spousal support. My attorney countered, the business was sold for $1,000. That's the documented value. We'll offer $50,000 from my client's father's proceeds as a goodwill settlement. Her lawyer laughed. Goodwill? Your client committed fraud. Prove it. We went back and forth for 3 sessions. Her lawyer brought in her mom as a witness to the planning conversations. She talked about divorce for months. She knew about the business value. My attorney, so you're admitting she was planning to divorce him specifically to take half his business earnings? Her mom stumbled. That's not, she was just being practical. Practical about planning a divorce around maximum asset extraction? Her lawyer objected. We moved on. Moved on. Eventually numbers started getting real. She wanted $300. We offered $75. She came down to $250K. We went to $100K. Her lawyer pulled her aside. Loud whispered conversation. My client needs to know where this money is coming from. My client's father will pay it from business proceeds. Why would he do that? Because it'll end this litigation and let everyone move on. They huddled again. Her face was red, angry, realized she wasn't getting her big payday. We'll accept $175,000. That's our final offer. My attorney looked at me. I nodded to my dad. He nodded back. Deal. But it's structured. $75 at signing, $50 in 6 months, $50K in 12 months. No. Lump sum. Structured or no deal. My client's father doesn't have $175K liquid. Lie. But whatever. More huddling. She looked desperate now. Probably had debts. Probably promised her lawyer a big payout. Fine. Structured. We signed papers 2 weeks later. Divorce finalized simultaneously. No alimony beyond the settlement because I had no income. She got her car paid off, $8,000 from our savings, and the structured $175,000. I kept the house, had to refinance to remove her name, paid her $25 for her equity stake. The whole process took 7 months. Update 3. Final. It's been 4 months since the divorce finalized. Time for the actual resolution. That $175K my dad paid her came from his savings, not business proceeds. I'm paying him back slowly. We have a legal loan agreement, interest-free family loan, totally legitimate, tax documented. The business? Still my dad's on paper. I'm still technically an unpaid intern, but we have a buyback agreement. In 3 years, I buy it back from him for $1,000. Everything's documented through his attorney. When I do, I'll have a successfully learned business with 3 more years of revenue growth that was never part of my divorce. Meanwhile, I have gotten paid. Sort of. My dad hires me as a contractor occasionally. $3,000 here, $5,000 there. For special projects. Keeps me fed without triggering post-divorce support modifications. My ex-wife? Last I heard through mutual acquaintances, she burned through most of the settlement money. Apparently she had credit card debt I didn't know about. About $40K worth. That ate a big chunk. Then she took a recovery trip to Europe with her mom. Another $15K gone. She's working now. Some retail management position. Makes about $45 a year. Lives in a small apartment. Her mom apparently complains constantly about how I ruined her daughter's life. The irony isn't lost on me. Here's the thing though, this wasn't a clean win. The $175K my dad paid hurt. That was real money from his retirement savings. Yeah, I'm paying him back, but it'll take years. The legal fees were $28,000 on my side. The stress aged me. I lost 15 pounds during the divorce. Good weight, but still. And I live differently now. Smaller, quieter. I don't make big purchases, don't talk about money, keep everything close. Maybe that's paranoia, maybe that's wisdom, don't know yet. The house feels empty. I thought I'd feel victorious living here alone. Mostly just feels empty. I'm 35, divorced, sleeping in a house I had to refinance to keep. Not exactly the dream. But here's what I do have. My business. Still operating, still growing. My dad's been legitimately helpful with scaling strategies. Revenue's actually up. We're on track for $420K this year. When I buy it back in 3 years, I'll own something we built together. Something she can never touch. And I learned something valuable. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. She showed me she valued my income over me, made spreadsheets of my earning potential, timed a divorce around asset extraction. That's not a partner. That's a strategic planner. And I'm glad I found out before we had kids, before the business hit 8 figures, before I was in too deep. Some friends think I was vindictive. She was your wife, you should have split fairly. Fair? She was planning to leave me the moment I was financially successful enough. Was that fair? Other friends think I'm a genius. You played the system perfectly. I didn't play anything perfectly. I reacted to a betrayal with the only move I could see. It wasn't elegant, it was messy and expensive and stressful. But it was necessary. My dad and I have dinner once a week now, usually Thursdays. We talk about business, life, the divorce. He never says I told you so, even though he warned me about rushing into marriage. Just sits there, listens, occasionally offers perspective. You know, he said last week, most men in your situation would have just accepted the loss, handed over half and moved on. Yeah? Yeah, the fact that you saw the problem and acted, that takes guts, even if it wasn't perfect. It definitely wasn't perfect. Nothing in divorce is, but you protected what you built. That matters. I'm not dating, not ready, maybe won't be for a while. Hard to trust after watching someone I loved calculate exactly when to leave me for maximum profit. But I'm okay. The business keeps me busy. The house is mine. I'm paying my dad back monthly. Life keeps moving. There's no Hollywood ending here. My ex-wife didn't have some come-to-Jesus moment of realization. She didn't apologize or admit she was wrong. She's out there right now, probably telling people I'm the villain who hid assets and screwed her in the divorce. And legally, technically, I might have. The business sale was aggressive. Probably won't hold up if anyone really digs. But by the time anyone cares enough to dig, it'll be years past and much harder to prove. The thing about consequences, they're not always immediate or dramatic. Sometimes consequences just living with what you did. She lives with choosing money over marriage. I live with the defense mechanisms I built. She wanted her half of a successful business. Instead, she got a structured settlement and a retail job. I wanted a partner who valued me over my bank account. Instead, I got an empty house and trust issues. We both lost things. The difference is, I still have my business. And that's enough. The intern position ends in November when I complete training. My dad and I will restructure to contractor status, official, documented, properly taxed. In 3 years, I'll buy back my business. By then, my ex-wife will be a distant memory. That's the real revenge, I guess. Not the dramatic courtroom victory or the public humiliation. Just moving forward, building something, recovering. Some people ask if I'd do it differently. Honestly, maybe. The stress nearly broke me. The legal fees, the paranoia, the constant fear that her lawyer would find some loophole. But then I remember that conversation I overheard. Her voice so casual, discussing the exact dollar amount she wanted to extract from me. The timeline, the strategy. And I think, yeah, I'd do it exactly the same way. She played a long game. I just played a slightly longer one. End of story.